Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Lee Shanae and Associates. Welcome to part three of the business and life lessons that you should be getting from the Cat Williams Club Shay Shay interview. In the last 6 days, this interview has been watched over 40 million times. 40 million. 40 with an M, million times in only 6 days. Listen, there's so much to learn from this interview. By the time we are done with this series, you should be business and life lesson wiser. So let's get started. One of the main lessons that we got from the Cat Williams interview that is critical for every entrepreneur and CEO is that courage is necessary. See, Cat Williams tells the story of how he had the courage to leave home at 13. Him and his father were not getting along, yada, yada, yada. Go listen to the interview yourself and go get the backstory. But to leave home at 13 years old, to drop out of school, to venture on your own, to say, I'm going to do this. I can do this. I'm going to find a way. Come hella high water. I cannot live at home any longer. I don't belong here. I need to be on my own. And I cannot wait another 3 years to do it. That took courage. It took courage to survive homelessness and all that he went through. It took courage to live authentically, despite how his family felt. He came from a very religious family, but that wasn't who he was. And it took courage to say to his parents and his family, this is not who I am. He had the courage at 13 years old to do what he wanted to do despite what his family wanted him to do. And because he had the courage, he used that courage to fuel him. He had the courage at a young age to go and pursue comedy. How many young people you know as young as 13 out there pursuing their dreams? That courage fueled him, and he was able to come out and be successful. We all know that it takes courage to start a business, but it takes courage to thrive and scale. It takes courage to say, listen, I can no longer do this on my own, and to hire your first employee. It takes courage to survive and thrive in that business year after year. When the going gets tough and the tough get going and you want to give up, and at the time so you don't have any money and all this other stuff, and business is slow and money's not coming in, and it takes courage to get up day by day. Cat Williams is in his 50s. He has been utilizing and digging deep to find the courage since he was 13 years old. And so if he can do it, you as an entrepreneur can do it as well. And to you CEOs, again, it takes courage to get to that level. It takes courage to decide to take that position on. That doesn't come willy-nilly. It takes courage to elevate a business despite the economic hard times. Give yourselves credit for having the courage. Owning a business is not for the faint of heart. If everybody could do it, everybody would. Being a CEO of a company is not for the faint of heart. If everybody could do it, everybody would. So give yourselves credit. The other lesson that comes from this is that practice makes perfect. Cat Williams tells the story of how at one point he was funnier with white folks than he was with black folks, and how he was determined to be funny with both. So he practiced that. He practiced showing up in comedy shows, practiced his jokes until he was equally as funny to black people as he was to white people. It took him 2 years of consistent practice, but he got that goal accomplished. Practice makes perfect. There really is no blueprint for being an entrepreneur. There really is no blueprint for being a CEO. And so, in your business, whatever business that may be, you are going to have to practice being good at whatever it is that you're looking to accomplish until you get there. You are going to have to fail and succeed, fail and succeed, fail and succeed. And when you succeed, you're going to have to practice at succeeding over and over and over again. You're going to have to practice getting that rhythm and sticking to it. Notice that we said he consistently practiced. So he was on it day in and day out. It took 2 years. Timing, but he didn't give up. It took 2 years, and in 2 years, both the black people and the white people were laughing at him equally. They thought his jokes were funny equally. 2 years. So, if he can do it in 2 years, you can do it at however long it takes. But you have to figure out your rhythm. It cannot be throwing stuff to the wall and seeing what sticks. Practice makes perfect. Consistency is a thing. Practice not only makes perfect, but it makes money. Because he became perfect at accomplishing his goal. Again, it took a while. He was able to make money and become wealthy off of that. At least become popular. Well, dare we say become wealthy, because he's sitting here giving $1,500 tips and $15,000 tips and all this other stuff. So the fact that he took the time to practice his craft until he perfected it made him wealthy. If you practice what it is that you want to accomplish, it has a very good chance of making you equally as wealthy. If you learn a system, practice that system until you perfect it, especially if that system is making you money. Same thing as a CEO. What is your style as a CEO? Practice perfecting your style as a CEO, especially if it is benefiting you. Change up what needs to be changed up. Practice makes perfect, but it also puts you in a position of power and wealth. Change up what you need to change up to put you in a position of power and wealth. The other thing, your history doesn't define you. He came from a very tough background, but he didn't let that define him. He used courage, he practiced until things were perfect, and he went out there. It didn't matter that he didn't graduate high school, it didn't matter that he came from a religious background, it didn't matter that he was homeless at 13 years old. None of that mattered. What mattered is that he had a goal. He was going to be successful. He knew he was meant to be successful, and he practiced until he was. So, as an entrepreneur and a CEO, don't let your history define you. If he can do it, you can do it. Okay? So, those are the lessons of part three. Come back tomorrow for part four. We're going to continue this series until all the lessons that we've caught we can describe. In the meantime, visit our website for your tech needs, www.lishoneandassociates